the Area Plan Commission in Tippecanoe County, which is the policy board that maintains our area plan. I mean, it's in the name, in the zoning requirements and what's going where in the community and making sure that industrial isn't plopping down in the middle of residential and that sort of thing. They approved at their meeting last week the initial subdivision for the Millbrook development that is going in, They approved the Millbrook preliminary subdivision, which is the big development of homes that is going in just north of West Lafayette along 50 West, which in town Salisbury, and on the east and on the west all the way out to and actually past Yeager, and on the north, bounded by 500 on the north. This eventual development of Millbrook is going to include somewhere along the lines of 1,000 homes and a mixture of development of townhome, multifamily, and various size lots. But in this preliminary approval, they have sought approval for just about 400, I think it is. But let's take a look at the map. I think I have this properly set up. See how this goes. Look at it one other way. See if this version's any better. Yeah, that works better. So this is the map, and you can see the entire development here stretching from Salisbury 50 West over here on the east, going all the way out past Yeager, out to Morehouse out here on the west. That's the entire, all of this shaded area through the development that they're looking at. All these yellow boxes, these shaded boxes, all of that is what the eventual development is going to be. But what they sought approval for this last week was the area inside this dark black area. And that is 3 areas that they sought and got approval for. It was a unanimous approval from the Area Plan Commission. It will now go to, I think this is going to West Lafayette. I think this is still within their municipal city limits. It's either West Lafayette or it's the Tippecanoe County Commissioners that would have approval. But I'm pretty sure it's West Lafayette that will approve this. They are doing phases 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B. And here's the plat map of what that actually is going to look like. Again, you'll see 500 north up here to the top. Here's 50 west over here to the right, and Yeager. So this is the central area. So they're doing 3 neighborhoods, 3 subdivisions, if you will. And this one doesn't have the zoning on it. Let me scroll down and see, because it's R1T, R1B, and R3. Okay, so R1T is townhouse. So here's our map again. R1T is going to be down in this area. These are going to be townhouses. And then the R1B and C, what R1 is residential. R means residential. 1, top of the pile, single family. And then the letters after it have designations that dictate things like the T is townhouse. That one's pretty self-explanatory. But the A's, the B's, and the C's, what that has to do with is the zoning regulations in the code and dictates the lot size. And we'll actually see here that the southeast corner of the development is, I believe, R1C. I think I've got that correct. Slightly smaller lot sizes. You can just tell relatively the lot size of these rectangles versus the R1B up here in this northern area. So they're starting with approval for what I would say is the slightly more mainline part of the neighborhood. There's been some pushback in the community about the fact that some of these homes are starting at $500,000 plus, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's a premium product, and they're really trying to price people on. That's the market they're going after. But yes, but it's business, and I would posit that they're really not. I would posit that what they're really doing is hitting the market price. The median price in Tippecanoe County over the entire county is just a little north of $300,000, and that's the median of everything. So that includes every little national home that's been fixed and flipped quickly. That's every national home that's been done nicely. That's every national home that's an absolute wreck. So that includes all the cheap houses. It, of course, does include all the expensive houses, but $500,000 as a starting point, while it sounds like a lot, and I'm not debating that like in pure dollars it is a lot of dollars, is really not out of line with the market here in Tippecanoe County and West Lafayette specifically, in the northern end of Tippecanoe County. But they're going to, my interpretation of this and the fact they're starting with these smaller lots is that, one, they can build more of them faster, and two, they can get more people moving in faster, and then they'll move out and do the larger home on the larger lots. And we can actually see the breakdowns here. So phase 1A, there's going to be 48 lots of townhomes. I'm not sure if that's actually 48 townhomes or 48 lots. And then in the larger lots, in the 77-foot wide lots, there'll be 26. And then of the 62-foot wide lots, there'll be 37. And then that's all the townhouses in phase 1A. Let's see, what else do we need to look at for this? That's one, section 1. I'm just scrolling through. I got a bunch of maps here, and I'll show them to you if they're interesting and give us any information we haven't talked about already. I was looking through 4. They haven't set a timeline on exactly when all of this is going to happen. They haven't told us when they're going to put a shovel in the dirt precisely, but this is coming sooner rather than later. I think that we'll see grading happening-ish very soon. If you drive up Salisbury, you'll see the grading has started for the new county road that's going in just a little south of here. There's some archaeological work going on for the S.K. Hynix site. I don't think it's going to take them long to get a shovel in the dirt. And I'm completely spitballing here. I would not be surprised to see our first model home online late next year, late 2026, late summer, maybe into the fall. It could get into 2027. This is a large area. There is a lot of grading to be done. They have all the road work and all the utilities to lay in. So I could be optimistic on that timeline. So you can't hold me to that, but I have a feeling they're going to want to get this product online quickly, and they'll throw as much labor at it as they possibly can to make this happen, because until they're selling houses, they're not making money. They're just spending money. So I have a feeling that something like this, where it's 400 or 500 homes to start, and it's going to be 1,000 homes total when the entire thing is done in 10 years. They're going to turn that inventory on as quickly as possible. But that was unanimous approval, as actually many things. I might even venture to say most things that come through Area Plan Commission do get unanimous approval. Certainly by no means 100%. And part of that is the process. These developers, and it's whether the developer is an individual like myself who might put a shed on my property and need to get a setback or something for the shed adjusted, or if it's these large corporations that are doing 1,000 houses, they're working with staff at Area Plan Commission. So they're not coming to the commission for a vote blind. The staff have had their hands on this. As a matter of fact, it is the staff that present it to the commission before the claimant gets to speak. This isn't blind. This isn't something that they don't know that is coming. Now, that being said, there are controversial ones that do wind up with split decisions or no's, or came to the commission over the advice of staff who thought the council wouldn't. It's your prerogative as a citizen to do that. But that is by far and away most people who are going through this process are working through the process. And so this is not a rubber stamp, but this is like a final check, and to make sure that the people who elect our elected officials, because the Area Plan Commission has officials from Tippecanoe County and Lafayette and West Lafayette and other municipalities here in Tippecanoe County. That is the constituent members of the board, so they're directly for the people. They say yes or no to these sorts of things. And we desperately need more housing in Tippecanoe County. And we'll get into a lot more numbers as we talk through some more of our news going on here in the Greater Lafayette area throughout the evening. But that is the new Millbrook subdivision coming to West Lafayette, and they have major preliminary approval for their first section. And I think that we'll have shovels in the dirt-ish. So stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button so that you can find out when that project is moving forward.